Hey everybody, Dr. Michael Corsells here again. Still want to talk to you about vitamin D. What's the deets about vitamin D? Everyone's on vitamin D, right? But why do we need to be on it? So vitamin D has a lot of benefits, not just to help with calcium absorption and for bone health and that sort of thing, but vitamin D has been shown to help modulate the immune system, help with infections. It's been shown to help protect against cardiovascular disease, even diabetes, and even to prevent certain cancers. It's been shown to help with energy, seasonal affective disorder, depression. So a lot of benefits of vitamin D. It actually acts more like a hormone, if anything. Now, how to get enough vitamin D? Everyone always says, yeah, I just need to get some sunlight. But if you're like me, being in the Seattle area, we don't have enough sunlight here. So vitamin D, we can get it from the sun, but you got to get it onto the skin. And there's receptors there that'll there's a whole series of steps that need to occur for vitamin D to be made by the body. So it has to go through the skin, get converted in the kidneys and the liver as well. And so there's a lot of steps in there, and a lot of things can interfere with that process. Number one, just a lot of pesticides, pollution, all those things can affect us. These toxins can actually interfere with production of vitamin D in our body. And number two, the skin color or even our age. Even with weight, folks who are more obese, that can affect vitamin D levels. So people of color, folks with darker skin, our melanin will interfere with vitamin D synthesis too. So just be aware of that. And of course, like, you can get sunlight or have enough sunlight, try to get enough sunlight to have enough vitamin D, but you'd be sitting out forever. There's been studies that shown, like, if you have 20 to 30% of your skin exposed. So that's like, just having short sleeves. And there's a study that showed you sitting in the sun 30 minutes, 3 times a day, getting that sun exposure still wasn't enough. And so, number one, we don't have enough sun exposure. Number two, you really don't want to sit out in the sun because of skin cancer concerns. So I often recommend, putting that sunscreen on, applying it often. And so, what form of vitamin D should you get, and how much should you take? Most of the supplements out there of vitamin D are the vitamin D3 or the activated version. And the better ones out there are vitamin D3 combined with vitamin K. So I talked about the vitamin D benefits, but there's also benefits of vitamin K. So vitamin K2 in particular. So vitamin K2 helps to regulate blood clotting, but it also activates a particular protein or hormone called osteocalcin, and that helps to put calcium back into the bones. So vitamin K actually helps with that. Vitamin K2 also helps with other things as far as like atherosclerosis or forming of plaques in our arteries. So vitamin K2 also activates a protein that binds excess calcium to prevent it from accumulating in the arteries. So vitamin D has those benefits to prevent heart disease, but you added vitamin K onto that, even better. So there's a lot of vitamin D supplements out there. As far as like how much to take, me personally, I'm taking vitamin D3 in 5,000 international units a day, which might seem like a lot. If you were to look at your multivitamin, it's typically only like 400 IUs a day. And the RDA makes a bare minimum recommendation of 400 IUs because that's what's needed to prevent like rickets or weakening of the bones. So you can definitely do way more of vitamin D. So I usually recommend make sure you get a good supplement. There's so many different brands out there, right? Are you going to be absorbing all of that adequately? And then as far as like how much to take, I recommend getting levels checked. A lot of insurances, actually no insurance cover vitamin D levels, blood work. So I still recommend getting it. The reason being is we already know levels are going to be low. And a lot of doctors will just start people on vitamin D anyway. But I recommend getting D levels checked because it's good to get a baseline. And good to see if the vitamin D supplement has enough in it. And are we at therapeutic doses where we want it to be? So you got to get a baseline number, and then you start supplementing, and then you want to see if the levels are, if you're actually absorbing it and the levels are in a good range. There are side effects of too much D. If you have too much of this fat-soluble vitamin, it can accumulate in your organs like the liver, which can harm the liver. Super rare for that to happen, but it's still a potential side effect. But that's another reason why you should get levels checked, right? You can't just willy-nilly take 5,000 a day forever, indefinitely. Some people are on 10,000 a day, or even 20,000 mega doses. So it's good to check those numbers periodically. So I hope that was beneficial for you guys and learned a lot from this video. So thanks for watching, and I will talk to you guys later.